And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Kaltbaum, your host. Hey, thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. It is the 23rd of September, 2025. Hope you're having a good day. In case you don't know, this is serious talk on everything that affects you. We'll do the markets, the economy, your job, your industry, all the Morlocks in D.C., and we're finding out more and more and more and more and more about the worst administration ever. The last one. Wait till you hear the latest. Another 4 years? Whew. And you know I'm no Trump fan. Anyway, we'll get to that in a little bit. And if you don't get this radio show in your city, we'll post it at GaryK.com. We'll also post it on our X feed. You can just go to X and click on it. You should follow us on X. Also, you can go to Biz TV, the YouTube channel, and the other podcast apps and all that crap. And if you'd like to email me, just be nice. Everybody's been nice. I had one person being not nice the other day. Sent me as the weirdest email. Oh, you're just copycatting CNBC's Fast Money show. No disrespect. I haven't watched CNBC since 2008. I have not, and again, no disrespect. I just haven't watched it. The only time I will watch CNBC is I get to know about what interviews they're going to have if somebody like Tepper's on there, or Tudor Jones, or Stanley Druckenmiller, or Ron Barron, or Ken Langone, somebody I really want to see. That I'll definitely watch the video. I just haven't turned it on. And again, I know for a fact there's a bunch of great people on there too. But I just, Anyway, somebody, you're just copycatting. So I just wrote back. It's a guy who always complains about me. I just wrote back, dude, you got the wrong guy, but what can I tell you? Such is life. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I wrote a few things down. In no particular order, let's do the markets. First off, the Dow was only down 88, but the NASDAQ was down 215. NASDAQ 100, 180. What held up pretty well, the Russell was only down measly. The semis were down just a little. Transports were up. It was kind of a stuff day. The oils had a strong day today, but there's a few. Just so you know, in oil land, you have the refiners like Valero in new yearly highs, but a lot of things near new yearly lows. So it's a mixed bag in there. And you had some bounces in defense stocks today, had some bounces in managed care, you had some bounces in different things. The banks were very strong early, reversed all the way down, and finished minor league green. It was strong early. And I will have to say this, at one time today, and listen carefully, this could be important, the Dow hit 46,714, closed at 46,292. So last I looked, that is 8 and 1422, a 422 point reversal to the downside for the Dow, which sometimes means you hit a little wall. You're going to get some rest. And by the way, there's this old line, sell Rosh Hashanah, buy Yom Kippur. Rosh Hashanah starts tonight. You never know. That's really about it. But the other part I want to talk about, even today with the market getting hit, let me tell you what was strong. You ready? The no sales stuff. You know that no sales nuclear thing that has a $21 billion market cap was up today with the market down. I saw, a quantum computing stock that loses tons of money, has like a couple of million in fees, and is trading with a $9 billion market cap. I've got also a, if I can find it. Here's one, another quantum stock that actually has some revenues. 27, 38, 50 million in revenues in the last year, but loses an awful lot of money. Let's see, $2 a share, $600 million last year on 50 million in sales. No, not kidding. It's got a $21 billion market cap. It was up today. How about, let's see, I'm going to throw out another one to you. Here's a no sales drone. No sales drone. $1.4 billion market cap. And you know what I've been telling you? I've been telling you that if nothing changes, by the way, here's a takeoff and landing air taxi, no sales, $14 billion market cap. If nothing changes, listen carefully, if nothing changes, they're all going to crumble if we go into another bear market. Not, well, when? And maybe there's not another bear market for 5 years, 3 years, 1 year, 1 week. I don't know. If nothing changes. And how do we know this? Well, all of these stocks traded during the 21-22 bear market. Here's one that's really going up big. This is the air taxi one. The stock went from 14 to 3 in the bear market. For instance, how about I'm just going to pull out a couple of more from the bear market and just letting you know. Here's one, went from, let's see, if you give me a second, there you go, I found it. How about 8 down to 80 cents? How about that one? Catching my drift? Or, there you go, 23 down to 60 cents. A quantum stock. No sales. So we're just letting you know, and we've been very blunt with you on this, they can continue higher. Why can't a no sales quantum stock that's worth 20 billion go to 40? Why not? If it can go to 20, we're just letting you know, and I want you to listen carefully because a lot of people are touting these things on the boards and the social media. They are all going to crumble based on precedent if nothing changes. It doesn't matter what they do, what they sell. It does not matter. They will all crumble. And again, we have gone through every bear market, and there's a constant behind it. Forget the fact we told you that the leading names have dropped 70% because they got over-owned, overloved, and all that crap. Companies that lose money will crumble, let alone the companies with no sales. So just keep that in mind, and you better be listening to us if we start telling you that the market's topping, getting in trouble and all that. And by the way, it's not, though some areas had a rough day today. I just wanted to start with that. And the other part I wanted to start with also, we have warned you also about the overheated IPOs. The initial public offerings that are coming public and they're opening them too hot. We just want to let you know one, and we also said yesterday, and a bunch of them lose a lot of money and have ridiculous valuations also. Well, here's one. You ready? Symbol Fly. They opened it at $74 from a $45 IPO. They reported another big loss and a drop in sales, and the stock was down 15% to $42. 74 to 42. It's called Firefly Aerospace. I got to start looking up what they do. It's probably cool. And also, I found another one. Well, I've done a few of you, but recently MNTN. It's called MNTN. Well, that's a symbol. It's called mountain.com. And another constant, they lose a ton of money. Well, they opened it up at 32. It's 18. Last I looked, that's in the 40s. In the 40s. So just be careful. Everything we do, we take out of the market, what it tells you. And the market's been telling this for weeks. More today of that. Up next, more on the markets and some whining and complaining. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. Okay. Next. So I was thumbing through my usual informational movements at night last night. And what do I mean by that is I'm reading through important news and also some little bit of opinion. And yesterday on the show, we had mentioned to you about the move in NVIDIA yesterday. Strong move on volume, big announcement with the AI and Chat GPT and all that. But I had said to you there's something called vendor financing. And that in the year 1999, 2000, you had companies doing deals with other companies, investing in companies, giving them money to buy your product, vendor financing. And that really started trouble. So NVIDIA did this deal. They're talking, $100 billion or whatever. But everybody who was posting last night was saying this is just like the vendor financing. It's a incestuous circle, and it does not hold any water. Well, NVIDIA was right back down $5.40 today. Make that $5.20. Giving back a lot of yesterday. We own a little bit, very tiny position. If it breaks the 50-day, which is not far away. Good night, Irene. Anyway, go read up the words vendor financing, and you'll see what we're talking about. You got that? And I'm not making a comment on that, but I got to tell you, if it is the case, big O. Because what ends up happening, you are booking revenues with your own money. That's what the accusations are. We're not accusing them. But that's what happened in 99. I believe Lucent and a few others. So just letting you know on the NVIDIA, which did not help. Oracle pulled back today. Oracle was up like $25-26 yesterday. It was down like 14 today. The Qs got hit. As I said, there was big reversals in the banks. I got one major name just breaking down today, and that's Amazon. And I have been telling our peeps, I still wonder whether the big gap to the downside in late July holds sway, even though it's rallied up, but it's rallied up with the market. And the first day the NASDAQ is kind of down, it got squashed today, just slamming through the 50-day moving average. We'll see what happens tomorrow. But that is not a very good look for Amazon. I can tell you Microsoft is hovering right at the 50-day and still having a little trouble there. Netflix is hovering right at the 50-day. And Spotify, which had a good move a few days ago, gave a lot of it back today. So that's not great news. And there's some other big names that are just miserable. Salesforce.com, Adobe, and things like that. The strength, though, is the Broadcom. NVIDIA, though, rough day. Meta, rough day today, heading back towards the 50-day. We told you about Oracle. And Tesla finally had a down day today. And that was due. That's had a pretty big move in short order. Semis are in shape today, mostly. United Health bounced. But I don't have the you-know-whats to play United Health when there's a criminal investigation on it. You know when I'll buy it? When I see the CEO walking into the White House. Somehow every CEO that walks into the White House comes out with good news. Have you noticed that? Well, I have. So we just wanted to let you know, still a lot of froth and speculation, ridiculous valuations, and we promise you we will inform you if that time comes, and when that time comes. And again, we did it for you in 22. We did it for you right before COVID. We certainly did it in the 08, 09. I believe 2011, there was a blasting also in the market. We'll stay on top. Why? Because you can't hide bad action in the market. You can't hide breakdowns in the market. And you got to assume we know what a breakdown looks like, an uptrend and downtrend and all that crap. And that is all. By the way, you heard my phone? That's another spam call. I get so many damn spam calls. Don't you? I don't, like one every 20 I'll answer, and you hear the boop, and then somebody comes on. Hello, this is so-and-so from so-and-so. We looked you up, and we can give you a loan of $150,000. Yeah, sure, right. Anyway, another spam call. How about that? What else? Oils. Just watching a few. And that's the first time I'm really saying that. I said recently they're better, but nothing spectacular. Transports. In case you don't know, there's a merger with Norfolk Southern and Union Pacific, and it looks like the president or the department or whatever is going to let that go through. So that got bid up a little bit. Restaurants, exchanges, insurance, staples, which bounced a little bit today. A lot of the big biotech, those small, there's a bunch of speculative biotechs doing better. Here you go. You ready? This is the message I got from that spam call. Hi, this is Anthony with the Business Finance Support Team calling you regarding the business credit line available, $68,000. I mean, how many of these people are out there? Seriously. They're so kind. They're going to give me $68,000. I appreciate that. How sweet. Usually it's $680,000, so this one is cheapening me. Micron reported after the close. Looks like good numbers. Was up to 176. It's only 168 now, but this is very extended. The stock has gone vertical as of recent. And they better come through with those numbers. And that's about it on the markets today. Let's see, the 10-year yield pulled back today. Good to see. Oil prices spiked up, though. Not good to see. Last thing we want to see is oil prices spiking higher. Just so you know. Muy importante. Very important. Don't want that happening. Broad market, not that great today. They pulled back some of the China. And that's it. Up next, news of the day. This is the one only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. So, few bits going on today. Oh, let's start with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. We do this. We take on the leaders of this country because they've all let us down. I know the people out there that are listening that love Trump. He's running $2 trillion plus deficits this year. He did nothing about it. He didn't tell the truth. We have to call him on that. Now, a lot of that is Biden, but the president had every opportunity to do something about it. Biden did that $1.8 trillion bullcrap, the Inflation Reduction Act that Biden came out and admitted had nothing to do with reducing inflation. And As I say to you, if I was president, that crap is cut in half before you boo. And the reason why the President Trump doesn't do that, or the Republican Party doesn't cut that out, is very simple. Government spending goes towards GDP. And if you pull back, it hurts. Screw the long term. Anyway, that would be number one. And you know my other complaints of Trump. But as I have stated, we have never seen anything like how bad Joe Biden was. And unfortunately, the corrupt sleazebag of media covered up everything from 10 million people coming in, people dying crossing rivers and in the back of trucks, children missing. Do you remember how they ripped Trump in his first 4 years about breaking up of families? They were running 24/7. Guess what Biden did? You know how many children was missing? Tons. Media covered it up. And they told us the borders were secure. They completely lied about it. He ran $2 trillion deficits. Afghanistan, where the Afghani women now were back to the dark ages, leaving a ton of our artillery and military crap over there. I can go on and on and on and on and on and on. But we find out more today. And we kind of knew this, but we find out more how bad the worst president ever. You know, they're all complaining about speech now, right? And free speech. Remember that, right? Well, Google has come out and admitted the following officially and publicly to the House Judiciary Committee. The Biden administration pressured Google to censor Americans and remove content that never violated YouTube's policies. The Biden administration censorship pressure, this is what Google's saying, unacceptable and wrong. Google is admitting that the Biden administration didn't give a crap about your free speech. We already knew that. You know how we knew it? When we went on Google and put searches in, and wacky things showed up, and stupid things showed up, or nothing showed up, based on left versus right, we knew. So now we know Joe Biden didn't give a crap about free speech either. And of course, Zuckerberg has also said the same with Facebook. But I got one more for you. What have we told you here? Who we are? Well, we're big believers in we're all equal. Every race, creed, color, gender, denomination, short, tall, fat, skinny, blonde, brunette, redhead, doesn't matter to us. We treat you all as equals. We don't care if you're the CEO or the janitor. We don't care if you clean the toilets of the building. You are more important than the CEO because there'll be SOL if the toilets ain't working. We believe waitresses and busboys matter big time, or you're not getting served at your restaurants. Nurses, doctors, firefighters, policemen. Revere them. Every single one of them. Unless they like Hamas. And we also believe in not choosing based on ever. Doesn't matter. If you earn something, we don't care who you are, what you are, how you are, and all that crap, as long as you lead a good life legally. Very simple, right? Kamala Harris, in her book, says she didn't pick Pete Buttigieg for vice president because he's gay. And she had to admit it. And when she was asked by Rachel Maddow and on MSNBC, she says, no, and then answers it and says, yes. So now we know that Kamala Harris is a homophobe. The vice president was a homophobe. Would not pick somebody because they're gay. Just want to let you know what we were dealing with for 4 years. It all comes out. It all comes out. The worst administration ever. And we've had some bad ones. And as you know, we're no fan of Trump. Let in 10 million people. We don't know where a bunch of them are. And they admitted that, by the way. We're not sure where people are. Massive debt and deficits. Oh, I forgot the inflation part, which, by the way, I don't give him much of the blame. I give him a little. It was mostly Powell. Just letting you know who these people were. And yet, when Miss Harris was on The View today, and I didn't watch it, but you get these little videos, they were treating her like sweetheart. Imagine if that was a Republican that did not pick somebody because they were gay. Huh? What would The View do? They'd be having crap fits. Well, that's what we're dealing with, ladies and gentlemen. The media is full of crap, and certain people are full of crap. A lot of them are full of crap. Anyway, I just wanted to let you know because that's what we were dealing with as he took us to $2 trillion yearly deficits. Just letting you know, while his family got very, very rich, and while he handed out our tax dollars at the end of his term to all kinds of miscreants. Stacey Abrams, go look her up. Oh, by the way, they interview her like she's a sweetheart. Just another corrupt. And she never became a politician. She lost every time. But they sure know how to get money. Through NGOs and charities. There's a lot of that going on. Which takes me to the UN speech today of the president. I'm going to watch the whole thing tonight. But I wish he'd stop embellishing. There's my love-hate relationship with him. He said some good things, but there's a place and there's a time. And don't get me wrong, I hate the UN. Sucks. Nightmarish. A horror show. The UN sucks. Anti-Semitic crazies. Human Rights Commission with the most nefarious pieces of crap around the world. Too much of that speech as I was watching today. Too much embellishing. And everybody knows the embellishments. I wish he would just stop. I wish I could sit down with him. Don't need to. He wouldn't listen to me, right? All right, up next. That was plenty, right? This, that, and the other thing. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. And to make sure you know, we discuss these other things because they matter. They matter. Yeah. 1.2 trillion of your tax dollars is going towards interest because of them. You know that? 1.2 trillion. Do you know our whole federal spending in the year 2000 was 1.8? These are legalized crimes brought to you by Trump, Biden, Trump, Obama, Bush. They just really started going nuclear on us under Bush. And if you notice, Bush is gone. Obama's gone. What do they care? Trump is back. And he's doing the same. And Biden's gone. They don't care. And just so you know, when they report the GDP's 3%, if you took out government at this point, just so you know, government spending has quadrupled, more than quadrupled, since the year 2000. Why is our government quadrupled since the year 2000? Somebody want to explain that to me? Well, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. But wait a minute. Didn't we all put our money into those to get out? Oh, that's right. Ponzi's. And no preparation. As people living longer. And they do nothing about it. I got to give the president credit. They're actually talking about raising the retirement age for Social Security. Just so you know. It looks like it's necessary. And if they did do it, you know what's going to happen. The other side's going to tell you that they're throwing grandma off the cliff. But the other side was 50% cause. This is all coming down the pike, ladies and gentlemen, just letting you know. It's all coming down the pike. When I don't know and where. In other very important financial news, the new guy that the president put in said that Jay Powell, which just went to 4% on the Fed funds, should be at 2%. No, he should not. As I told you, President is going to put in puppets that want very low interest rates. Puppets. That's what we are going to get. And unfortunately, it's going to cause huge inflation if they do that. That's what easy money does. Inflation is a monetary phenomenon. Jay Powell caused it with his ridiculous printing, 0% interest rates also. And notice how inflation came down when he stopped printing and started raising rates. We told you. But the reason he doesn't get blamed is because he's not a politician. He's getting blamed now, finally, because they want his you-know-what out. So we're worried. Because in the next May, the president's going to put in himself to run the Fed. And what we mean by that is anybody he puts in will have to do exactly what he wants, which is, he said 1%, which would be sheer insanity. What it also may do and what it also could do is do the opposite. They lower short-term rates, which, by the way, takes your money market funds away. And long-term rates go higher, squeezing you on your mortgages. Just want you to remember that. And we say that, we ain't kidding. We have a pretty decent feel. We have a pretty decent feel. A very decent feel for the bond market and the Fed, as we have proven it to you for many a moon. As bad as Jay Powell was, he hasn't been so bad recently. He's stayed stable. If I was president right now, I would be at 3 3/4. Another quarter point down. Maybe 3.5. That's it. And then steady as she goes. We worry there's going to be no Fed independence. Well, there's going to be no Fed independence. It's a guarantee. Unfortunately, it's a darn guarantee. I wish I had better things to say, but it's a darn guarantee. And it's coming down the pike. We'll be on top of it. We think they learned their lessons on the tariff front. We don't think there's going to be any more of that coming down. We'll let you know if they decide. But I'm pretty sure a 10% crash in 2 days takes that off the table, because that's exactly what happened in early April. And is by no accident. By no accident, markets turned up when they went away from Liberation Day. I've received a ton of email on this autism thing. I know nothing about it. I just don't trust Robert Kennedy as far as I can throw him. And I worry about it. We'll be reading up a lot more about it. That all said, you have a great evening. Drive carefully. When you get home, do like we do. Very simple. Make sure you hug your family. Make sure you hug your children. They will feel better. You will feel better. I promise they will be well. Thanks for joining. Until tomorrow. Peace out all. Good night.